In this video, we're going to talk about, what charges some of the coup people might be facing. So it's going to be kind of a short one, but stick with me, folks. I'll be with you in a minute. Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I'm going to start with this because we're going to be kind of talking about justice in this. And this one is from Mike Boudreaux, and he is an elected California sheriff, which I think is very interesting. He says, as sheriff, I will not be citing people who violate the stay-at-home order. The reason is I must focus on true criminals. I will not cite or arrest otherwise law-abiding citizens when I'm being ordered by Sacramento to release child abusers, burglars, and other criminals from jail. And since we're going to be talking about justice here in a minute, one of the things that I wanted to point out here is when we're dealing with the stay-at-home order, we've talked about this before in my videos, they really can't say you have to stay home because that's depriving us of liberty without due process. And it's simply not allowed, not even in an emergency. They can recommend that you stay home, but they can't require it. It just doesn't fit with our constitutional rights. So I think this sheriff is well within his own rights to be able to do this because he's right that his focus really needs to be on the true criminals. And, he's being ordered by Sacramento to release these kinds of people and lock up law-abiding citizens. I think any law enforcement officer who can't see the injustice in that kind of idea has something wrong, and they shouldn't be in law enforcement. So I hope there's a lot of sheriffs out there like this who are seeing through what's really going on. I just can't imagine law enforcement officers that are decent and honestly trying to do what's best for the people would not see it the same way as this man. So I wanted to share that with you. And then I know you've probably already heard about this because it was a couple days ago. It was on the 18th, and I'm recording this on the 20th. But I wanted to point out this one part of what he says here. So listen carefully.
Thanks, Pierre. Let me just take the second part first. Obviously, with Mr. Durham's work underway, I really cannot comment on specifically who is being looked at. But I think we're all familiar with the set of circumstances that is generally being reviewed.
So he can't legitimately say who is being investigated, but it's pretty obvious to everybody who the players are, at least the main ones. I think by now everybody has a good idea of who they are. Well, Gregg Rubini here, who is kind of a fairly well-known guy who comments on things, and he did this thread here of what he thinks the crimes are that these people could be investigated for. So according to Gregg Rubini, John Brennan will get the death penalty, and the charges against him are 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 1 count of conspiracy to commit treason. Not just Brennan, list below. Info from a source close to Durham prosecutors. And yep, that's what Brennan looks like. I'm sure he's not going to be very happy about this. I hope he's got a lawyer. Well, I'm sure he does by now. Well, number 2, while you read this thread, remember that William Barr has reinstated the death penalty for federal crimes in July 2019. You remember that, right? That was interesting. Okay, other charges against Brennan, 3 counts of lying to Congress, 2 counts of lying to investigators. Number 4, charges against James Clapper, 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 2 counts of lying to Congress. James Comey, 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 6 counts of perjury, 4 counts of obstruction of justice, 4 counts of falsifying government documents. Number 6, Andrew McCabe, 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 2 counts of perjury, 3 counts of lying to Congress, 1 count of falsifying government documents. They're adding up, aren't they? Yeah. Number 7, Peter Strzok. 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 4 counts of perjury, 3 counts of falsifying government documents. Number 8, Sally Yates. 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 3 counts of obstruction of justice. Loretta Lynch, 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 2 counts of lying to Congress. Number 10, Lisa Page, 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 3 counts of perjury, 1 count of obstruction of justice. Bruce Orr, 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 1 count of falsifying government documents. Number 12, he says, sounds good to me, and this is just a provisional list. High probability other crimes will be charged to the above thugs, and more names to be added to the list. And he says, please retweet number 1. And then he says, note the source of the info is a good source connected with the Durham prosecutors. I cannot say more at the moment. A few days ago, Trump hinted at 50 years sentences. An indirect hint? Trump certainly knows, and he said a lot of people are going to pay. Watch.
It was the greatest political crime in the history of our country. If I were a Democrat instead of a Republican, I think everybody would have been in jail a long time ago, and I'm talking with 50-year sentences. It is a disgrace what's happened. This is the greatest political scam, hoax in the history of our country.
Well, it is the biggest
and people should be going to jail for this stuff, and hopefully a lot of people are going to have to pay.
A lot of people are going to have to pay. I think that's true. And then he goes on, he says, certainly 3 counts of conspiracy to overthrow the government guarantee 50 years of jail or more. Think Comey, Clapper, McCabe, Strzok, Yates, etc. See above. Trump also said they tried to overthrow a duly elected president, which is exactly what the conspiracy to overthrow the government means, the above-mentioned charges. Another coincidence? Watch.
They tried to overthrow a duly elected, forget about me, a duly elected president of the United States. They tried to do an overthrow.
Yep, he's right. So we have a long list of people that will be charged with 3 counts each of conspiracy to overthrow the government. Brennan, Clapper, Comey, McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Sally Yates, Loretta Lynch, Bruce Orr. How many years of jail time each? From what I've read, that makes 20 years for each count of conspiracy to overthrow the government, 60 years in jail each, plus the additional charges. Let's say 70 or 80 years of jail time for each of them. That's fine for me. But first, I want to watch the trials, broadcast live. Me too. John Brennan is a different case because he has also the additional count of conspiracy to commit treason. This means death penalty for sure. Now, I'm not sure why the others are not conspiracy to commit treason, and John Brennan would be considered as that, but I don't know. I kind of think all of them are fitting in the treason category right now. So it was kind of interesting reading through some of the comments that they have here, and it's just, yeah. This is an interesting thing because we've talked about this before. Media Matters is posting his tweets. So keep people like that in mind because they're kind of on the front lines, and yeah, Media Matters goes right after them. You know that. And they make lists of people. Like I said, they had that list of the Q followers who were running for office. So they keep hit lists. It's really sad, and that's what they are. So, yeah, conspiracy to commit treason requires at least one other co-conspirator. That's a good point. You got to have that. And see, this is what I'm feeling like. Only Brennan gets charged with treason. I think several more of them deserve it as well. I sure hope your info is on the money. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And just a reminder about the Barr comment where he said that he hasn't seen any evidence as of now, as of today, when he was doing that interview, to charge either Obama or Biden with anything. He hasn't seen the evidence yet. Let's just put it that way, because I'm pretty sure there was a plan out there to take out Trump. And that's what I really think probably was going on after that January 5th meeting. I think somewhere along the line they were hoping to take him out before he could take office for the inauguration. And that's why I think Sally Yates waited so long, because she didn't put that memo out until the day of the inauguration. In fact, after he had actually taken the oath of office. I think they had something planned that was going to take Trump out. At least they hoped it would. And thank God that didn't happen. So, it's really, really good. So this is why Guantanamo Bay has been expanded, likely. But I think there's going to be a whole lot more people than this. The conspiracy went much, much further. And there are going to be other people. As to when the first person is going to be arrested, I don't know. But I do know that it's going to really kind of surprise everybody. And I know a lot of people saying that Q said it was going to shock the world. That's not exactly what he said. But just having someone arrested for this is going to be a huge thing. One Anon on the research board said that maybe the reason it's going to shock people is because it's going to be moved to a military court instead of the regular criminal court, because we've already seen with the whole Flynn thing that I'm not sure we can trust the court system. So it very well could be, because of the nature of these crimes, I would think this would move it automatically to the military court. Overthrowing a government, it really does kind of move you into that category. At least I would think so. But then again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know for sure. Anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I'll leave all the links down below, and you can go through it yourself, and you can share it. I know some of you are saying, oh, nobody's going to get arrested. Nothing's going to happen. The indictments are going to happen. Some people will go to jail. They will. It's just who and how long, that's going to be questionable. And whether they're going to be somebody who is accused of treason or not, that's kind of iffy too. I'm not sure who all, but there will be some who are accused of treason. I just know that's going to happen because I've been watching the escalation of it over the last couple of years, and I see it getting much closer all the time. So, I know there's a lot of naysayers out there, but I really do see how it's progressing, and I can see how it's going to come together. It is already coming together in a big way. And there's going to be a lot more declassified documents released in the near future. So hang on, folks. We've got a fun ride ahead. Grab your popcorn, everybody, because it's getting good. So that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.